My name is Gibson, and I'm the co-owner and creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the fearful avoidant attachment style individual and their all or nothing thinking. And now, this is something that is a cognitive distortion. It does apply to anxious, preoccupied, in specific contexts, as well as dismissive avoidance, and even securely attached people can struggle with all or nothing thinking in certain contexts as well. But this does tend to be a lot more pervasive for the fearful avoidance. So in this video, I'm going to take you through a little bit about what all or nothing thinking is, the impact of it, how to notice how it's specifically impacting your life if you are the FA or places that it is, even if you're a different attachment style, and then some things you can do about it as it specifically impacts our relationships. So before I dive in, we have a really exciting thing that we're launching for this fall and winter. So I really wanted to find a way of creating community because I know a lot of people are living alone. There's a lot of isolation. I know some people are feeling afraid to go and be in public areas, which makes a lot of sense. And just there's a lot happening in the world right now. And I was trying to think of like a creative strategy for like how to bring people together and make people feel like they have something they can take away from this time. And anyways, so what I came up with is we are going to run a 90-day challenge. It's going to start in November. You can join anytime in November that you want to, and it's going to end in January, so 90 days from the point you started. And it's your 90-day challenge to become secure. So where this comes from is that we have so many people in PDS who are reporting that they become secure in the first 3 months, like so many people. And this specific features that all these people have are they follow the PDS course guide. They attend at least 2 webinars a week. And the course guide is basically like the order of courses that I recommend that you do according to what your attachment style is. And that they are showing up and completing the workbooks. And if you do those 3 things, you are going to become secure, if not just very largely on the way to become secure in your first 3 months. So we are creating a Facebook group exclusively to people who join and sign up for the 90-day challenge, or people who are already members of the school who just want to participate in this. And the 90-day challenge is to complete the first 6 courses on your course guide. And for people who are already doing this and like might be further ahead, you are welcome to join into this challenge and just complete like the next 6 courses and still just have that like support system and engagement from the community. Each course is about 3 hours long with about a 15-page workbook on average, but there's a lot of like empty space to fill in. So what I really recommend to people is that you do 2 courses a month. If you can stay on track with 2 courses a month and 2 webinars a week, you are going to get so much out of the school. So our 90-day challenge, we have a Facebook group. I'm putting a link in the description box below. It's the PDS 90-day challenge community. And you can engage in there. You can share your progress. You can ask questions. We will have a community member actively monitoring that group. So if you have questions, stuff like that, we have somebody in there who will help to check in, and follow the PDF when you get inside of the school. And you can, and it'll tell you the first 6 courses to do, and you will be able to track your progress and see major results. And it's an amazing goal to have going into 2021, like starting off January 2021, you're a securely attached person. So that's the goal. That's what we're bringing to you and for you. And remember, 2 live webinars a week, you'll have community, you'll have specific engagement, people who are like-minded doing the same thing as you. So please join in. You'll get so much out of it. You really, truly will. And I'm excited to be sharing this with you. So let's talk about fearful avoidant and the all or nothing cognitive distortion. So in CBT, there's a term known as all or nothing thinking. And it's sometimes referred to also as black or white thinking, but I much prefer to use the term all or nothing. And you can think of all or nothing thinking as like seeing the world through the lens of extremes. Okay. And where does this come from? It often comes from going through extremes in childhood. Okay. So if you are exposed to a lot of extremes, you're more likely to see the world this way. Now, a really clear example of all or nothing thinking is if you've ever been in a position where you're trying to eat super clean, like maybe do like a super healthy diet, maybe you're doing like a cleanse, whatever it might be, and you like do so well for the first like 4 or 5 days. And then on day 6, let's say you wake up and you eat like a muffin. And then you go, oh, I already ruined my healthy eating for the day, so I might as well just eat junk food. And then like later in the day, you're eating like chips or cookies or whatever. This is this element of like undoing everything just because one little thing went wrong. And it's sort of like funny and it's like funny to see when people do that with eating, and I've done that in the past, so I understand. But I want you to look at like the actual form of thinking that way in and of itself. And I want you to imagine what it's like to plug that all or nothing thinking cognitive distortion into each of the 7 areas of life: your financial area of your life, your physical health overall, your relationships, right? Your mental emotional well-being, like the all or nothing thinking cognitive distortion. When we are not aware that we're doing this in the relationship to ourselves, it becomes self-punishing. And it becomes this attack on the self because we can make all this progress and do so well. And then we just ruin the 4 days of healthy eating by eating junk food all day. If you ate a muffin, or if you spent a little bit of extra money, or you said one little wrong thing in a relationship, this isn't a reason to sabotage. Okay. This is a reason to become aware, to do everything you can to be accountable in that moment, and to find a solution and be solution oriented, and to pick back up exactly where you left off the moment before you made any mistake that you did. And correcting this cognitive distortion goes an extremely long way for fearful avoidance. It also comes up, and by the way, I want you to notice all or nothing. To me, like the other impact of this for an FA on their romantic relationships is like the activated or deactivated. It's like, oh, things are great, I'm all in. Oh, something went wrong, I can't trust this person at all because they broke my trust in one little tiny area. And and maybe they didn't call back on time, and so I can't trust them with anything. And I'm not trying to like over exaggerate, because maybe that's not, you don't do that over one little call from one experience, but like you probably have that in some other area of your life if you haven't worked on this as a fearful avoidant already. I had to work on this as a human being. It's a really powerful thing to be working on and working through. And I just want you to notice. And so dismissive avoidance can do this too, to a certain degree, but not as much. Like they can sort of go into the nothing space quickly, and that's their like strong deactivating. They won't be like all as often. They're more balanced and reserved overall. Anxious preoccupied can do this a little bit in their perceptions about abandonment. Like if there isn't a lot of closeness, they can think, oh, there's not so much closeness, we must be about to break up, or we must be, I must be on the verge of getting abandoned. And you can correct this with reprogramming the core wound of abandonment. But these are really important things to become aware of. So that's one really powerful thing for fearful avoidance, especially because fearful avoidance tend to like live in those extremes a lot more often. And part of where this comes from is it's often the mind developing the all or nothing thinking as a strategy to protect yourself from worst case scenarios, and as a strategy to really hold on to the things that are serving you and are good. And so this can create this really strong duality in the way you approach your behaviors in certain situations. So that is really important to recognize. How can we overcome this? Well, we do have a whole course on cognitive distortions. It's part of our anxiety course inside of the school, and this is addressed in like a full module if you want to do a deep dive into that. But if you're just looking to like gain the awareness first, make a list of all the places you have all or nothing thought patterns, like with money. Like, oh, I spent too much money at dinner the other day, and so like who cares, I'm not even going to bother sticking to my budget this week. Or in my relationships, like, oh, that person offended me the other day, and so like I don't want to ever be friends with them again. So like look for where this takes place. Make a list in the 7 areas of life: career, financial. Career FAs do this a lot too. It's like, oh, I'm having a bad week at work, I shouldn't be here. And sometimes people will like leave and be flighty in this area. So it's really important to recognize. So career, financial, mental, emotional, spiritual, relationships, physical. Make a list of all the places you do this. And then what I want you to do is create a cognitive reframe for a more fair and balanced thought. So ask yourself, like, can I 100% know that what I'm thinking is healthy, is correct? Like, if somebody doesn't call me back once, or let's say I'm not having a great week at work, does this mean like I should be leaving the job right now? Is that fair? And like when I'm more emotionally regulated, let me revisit this. and let me decide, like, what is the actual cost of leaving the relationship, or of pushing the person away, or of leaving the workplace, or of spending that money, and does the cost outweigh the benefit of having staying power instead? Okay. And then you can ask yourself, like, what would be a more fair and balanced thought? And let me reframe and put that in. And then you can ask yourself, what do I need to feel better? And how can I get that need met? So it doesn't have to be that you're like, let me just stay when I've had a crappy week at work. Like, let me still solve the problem. Let me go to my boss and have a boundaries conversation, or ask for help, or let me go to somebody who did break my trust and say, listen, this isn't okay. And I'm willing to, be okay with giving you benefit of the doubt in this situation because mistakes happen, but like, this is a boundary for me going forward. So this doesn't mean like just put up with everything, but what it does mean is we're trying to return to a fair and balanced space in the way that we approach and work in our reality. So I hope this makes sense. Super important topic. Let me know if you want to see more about cognitive distortions and the other types. Maybe I'll just even record a couple of videos like that now, but let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.